maybe first have you introduce yourself and telling us a little bit about yourself and maybe why you think we might have chosen you as an inspirational woman. You've had a career, you've raised three boys, and you've done all this single-handedly, which I think is something to be noted as well. So why don't we just start off by hearing a little bit about yourself.
I think that, Josh, because you're my neighbor and know me, and also because you don't know that many people who have one arm, so you're sort of interested in, you weren't interested, I found you actually. I was interested in finding somebody who could help me make a video that shows people how easy it is to do things with one hand. You know, I'm leading this little group of kindergarten to third grade children in church. And so I go down during the Sunday school and we'd have 15 minutes to sing. And I was telling them we need to do these motions with our song. And I said, now some of these things you'll do it with two hands, but I do it with one hand. And I said, you know, you don't really need it. You have this extra hand. You know, I'm not sure what they think about that. So it kind of surprises people. So I guess that might be something that that you would have noticed as a reason to hear what's the story of this person, because they're doing things a little bit differently. On the other hand, there are thousands and thousands of people who have one arm, so that's really not a big deal.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it really seems to me that it really is hardly a handicap at all. I just, by personality, I like to do a lot of different things, and I always thought I'd do extraordinary things in other countries. I'd be all over the world doing all kinds of amazing things, and I never have. I mean, I've lived in some other countries sometimes because my husband was studying healthcare systems in some other countries, but that has not been because of anything I was doing. I mean, there are lots of things that somebody ought to do to make a difference for people's lives in our country, just assuming that I'm in this country. I think, you know, wealth inequality is just so huge. And so being a poverty lawyer years ago is something that I think kind of set a course for me in how to look at the world, how to look at things that are happening and think, okay, and what's that doing to poor people? I only practiced for about 10 years, and some of those were part-time years after my husband and I started having a family. When I met Timothy, actually we were the only two Mennonite poverty lawyers practicing in the country at that time. We ran into each other at a conference on law and theology, and decided on our third date to get married. He had just taken a job as a law professor, so he was getting out of poverty law where money was being cut constantly. It was very grueling, and I was trying to figure out every year how to cut my budget, because every year Ronald Reagan proposed no money for legal services for poor people. So every year was a huge fight, very wearing, to have to cut back when you're already turning away people for things that are so important for their lives. So it's a really difficult time, and Timothy went into teaching, and so when we met and decided to marry, he had just gotten this job in Ohio, so we went off to Ohio. But it was also, I think, the first of many years in which I would figure out, okay, you're going to be here because teaching health law was the thing that Timothy was really set on doing, and he's very much of a hardworking, focused person. I'm actually not. It really helped me to be doing, you know, small cases, just going into court, kind of shooting from the hip,